Nothing in this recording is intended as investment advice, and the people in this recording may hold positions in the companies they talk about. Do not make any investment based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Hello and welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. Today I'm joined by Anthony Tennyson, who's CEO at Solvonis. How are you today, Anthony?
I'm good. I'm good, Zach. Thank you very much.
We're speaking in the wake of yesterday's announcement, which was regarding PTSD. We're also speaking in the wake of your shares being up 85% so
Yes.
far this year. You've got a market cap of 23 million. So you're making good progress on both your lead candidates, the PTSD and the alcohol addiction. But just tell us where you are at the moment in your mind.
Yeah. So just to refresh your audience's minds, we're a biotech. We're focused on developing innovative medicines that address large disease classes, and that's particularly in mental health and addiction. And in addiction, we're focused on alcohol use disorder, a condition that affects about 40 million people across the US, UK, and main EU economies. And in mental health, we're focused on PTSD, condition that we estimate affects about 20 million people across US, UK, and main EU markets. In order to innovate in that space, what we're doing is we're taking a dual R&D approach. For alcohol use disorder, we're focusing on repurposing already approved medicines, which enables us to significantly de-risk, reduce cost, and reduce time. And for PTSD and other indications, we're developing our we're running our own drug discovery programs and developing our own compounds. So what that does for us means for us as a company is it means we've got near-term commercial opportunities through those repurposing programs, which are much closer to commercialization. And then we've got medium and longer term commercial opportunities through our own drug discovery programs. And we're executing really well across both of those work streams. What we do is we run research and development programs in the biotechnology space with an extreme focus on capital efficiency in order to progress those to the point at which we can outlicense them to big pharma. And we are, as I said before, we're really pleased with the progress that we're making. And I think that's reflected in the share price, which is up about 350% from June or July of last year, and up significantly from when we acquired Awaken and financed the company back just at the end of May of this year. So all in all, really pleased on the progress within the company and really pretty pleased with how the market and the street are reviewing and viewing our progress.
Right, I mean, there are a few mini biotechs, if I can call, put you into that sort of same category around, and they either hemorrhage money to a greater or lesser extent, normally to a greater extent. I presume that your AI platform is part of the discovery process, and that's one of the reasons why you can keep the costs down and develop significant products for with significant addressable markets as well.
Yes, that's there. There's two ways in which we really reduce our burn. The first way that we are reducing our burn is we have our lead program, SVN 001, which is focused on severe alcohol use disorder for the UK and the EU markets. Now, that program is in phase three, which is the penultimate stage before being able to, if you are successful in being able to um, seek approval to market your drug in those territories. Now, we're running a 280 person phase three trial that would typically cost, pick the number 25 to 40 million sterling to run that trial in the UK. We have partnered with the Department of Health in the UK through the National Institute of Health and Care Research, the Medical Research Council, and the NHS, and through the University of Exeter to significantly reduce the cost for that trial. So the total cost for that trial is only 2.25 million sterling. And through our partnerships, Solvonis's costs are capped currently at 800,000 sterling. So through working with the state and securing non-dilutive grant funding for a potentially definitive trial, we have materially reduced our outlay for that trial and therefore our burn. Second way that we've reduced and that we continue to reduce our burn is running those preclinical programs, just as you alluded to, Zach, in a really, really efficient manner. And we're doing that by working really efficiently with our Chief Scientific Officer, Professor David Nutt, and a network of scientists and medicinal chemists that he has, and in such a way that we can significantly reduce the cost associated with making some very innovative and interesting discoveries in discovering and developing drugs to treat post-traumatic stress disorder and some other indications that we're pursuing. And I think that's, evidenced by the fact that we just completed a preclinical, another stage of our preclinical program for our PTSD research in a very efficient manner, but with very, very positive results.
Isn't it also the case that, unlike other companies which try and find, the orphan cures, orphan drugs area, which is a market of like 10 people in the country, you're focusing on areas
Yeah.
which health services are very keen on. Cost the nation billions all around the world, cost health services all around the world billions, and therefore they're keen to bankroll or help bankroll research into, let's say, the PTSD or the alcohol addiction. And I suppose one could even say, ADHD, that's an issue, or autism or whatever. I mean, any of these things which create cost the state a lot, cost health services a lot. It's easier to get funding. It's easier to get backing on.
Yes, so the, that's another sort of key differentiator for us. We've got our focus on extreme capital efficiency, focused on progressing our research to points at which we can then out-license or sell those programs on to large pharma. But the other thing that sets us apart is our clear focus on disease classes that affect many millions of people and for which there are currently poor standards of care. So what that means for us is we're focused on large addressable markets where the current standard of care is poor, where a company like us who can innovate can create a significant commercial opportunity. And I think, as I probably said to you before, the comparator here is the GLP-1s, which are the medicine class that are currently being pointed or being developed and successfully commercialized to treat obesity. The GLP-1s are forecast to become the largest selling medicine class in the history of the pharmaceutical industry. Now, those GLP-1s weren't necessarily innovative. They were well understood and known and originally developed to treat diabetes. And they didn't have a huge success there. They were offered to Pfizer. Pfizer turned them down. They were then offered through to Novo Nordisk, who took them on and pointed them at obesity. And the rest is history. Novo Nordisk went from a mid-tier company to the most valuable company in Europe by market cap. Yes, they've come back a bit because challengers have caught up, Eli Lilly, etc. But turns out Eli's latest drug hasn't been as successful. Eli's market cap has come down. Novo's market cap has gone up. But it's really evident that to us evidences the value creation opportunity that exists for investors and for shareholders if you are successful in innovating in large disease classes. Now, a lot of companies do indeed pursue that orphan designation, and the reason for that is it's relatively more efficient to run your R&D programs, but there's a smaller opportunity and a smaller prize to be pursued or to be sought there. What we are more interested in doing is really trying to change how these large disease classes are treated in order to prevent or provide as large a commercial opportunity for the company as possible, and therefore we believe create a value creation opportunity for investors and for our shareholders.
Well, I'll go off and take my GLP-1 injection, but in the meantime, Anthony Tennyson, CEO at Solvonis, thank you very much indeed.
Zach, absolute pleasure to speak to you and good to chat to your audience as well. And looking forward to staying in touch.
Cheers.